I'm 1,000 pieces, still standing tall, a voice in the chaos. I've lived it all. I'm a wife on a murder, a friend in the night, holding a broken, still holding a lie. Shells in my pocket, dreams in my hands, building something they don't understand. The crafter of hope from shattered days, finding my strength in a million ways. They don't see the tears fall down in the shower. They don't know the pain behind the power. They only see me when I'm shining bright, not the battles I fight every night. But still I rise through the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong. This is where I belong. Mommy ramblings in my name. I built this boy through the pain. Every rebel that stayed by my side. You're the reason I survive. Still I rise, still I stand, with a broken heart and steady hand. They try to tear me down piece by piece, like I don't deserve a moment of peace. Was it just cause I didn't fit them mold? So they threw their stones and turned so cold. There are things I'll never say out loud, the kind of pain that don't need a crowd. But I carry it deep where the silence lives, and still find a way to give and give. And I smile when I go live like I'm okay, but they don't see the price I'll pay. I'm missing you with every breath I take. My sweet boy, my heart's still brave. But still I rose for the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong. This is where I belong. Mommy ramblings, this is me. Every left still chasing dreams. Every rebel that never walked away. You're the light that got me through the grave. Still I rise, still out there, with your memory in my head. God, you carried me when I was weak, when I couldn't stand, you lifted me. More times than I could ever say. You made a way, you made a way. And I've got dreams that won't let go, a foundation built, some love I know. For my son, for the words he played, I'll turn my loss into something ever made. Yeah, I rise, now I'm stronger than before. Every scar just opened up a door. I'm still here, hear me now. I won't break, I won't bow. Mommy rambling, loud and clear. This is my voice, this is my year. Every rebel, every heart, you've been with me from the start. Still I rise, still I fight, turning darkness into light.
I'm still your mom, and I'll build something beautiful from all this pain.
The lights go low, the clock strikes 9. Another mystery, another line. Truth in shadows, secrets hide. I never thought this journey would look like this, but I am grateful for the ones who stayed. When the world turned loud and cold, when words were thrown and stories told, some walked away, some joined the fight, but you stayed here, you were my light. way you planted hope in me. When everything felt broken, you helped me finally see. You helped me finally see. You helped me finally see. Because you said I kept going, I kept going. Because you cared, I kept going. And through the darkest nights I knew I could make it thanks to you. This channel isn't just a stream, it's more than we could ever dream. True crime, crafts, and hearts that mend, a family that won't pretend, won't pretend. I am grateful I am here because you turned my pain to cheer. And even those who walked away, I hope they find a better day. I won't be bitter, I won't close. My heart still grows, my kindness flows. That's what life is meant to be. A face for you, is for you, a place for me. I lost so much I won't deny. Some days I still just wonder why. But purpose came and so did you. And now I know what I can do to build a space where voices rise, where no one hides, where truth survives, where friendship means you show you care, not just when life is easy there. Because you stayed, I keep believing. Because you care, I keep achieving. Through every tear, through every flame, I still remember every name. This is more than just a stream, it's family, it's our dream. Grateful heart, always say thank you for staying. Because you stayed.
Hey, and welcome. Lots to celebrate tonight. Up on your monitor should be our 48,000 subscriber milestone, and we are so thankful for that. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed. Thank you to those of you that have subscribed ages ago. I just want to make sure there that the voice is coming through. It is. And so very grateful. We have said we're on the road to 50,000. That's very important to me because of something Ray told me a long time ago too about the 50,000. And so I announced that, I think around the beginning of the year, said we were going to really push on that road to 50,000. And so we're going to celebrate every milestone there. And so over 48,000 subscribers now. And I'd love to hit 50,000 by the end of July. Maybe we can do that. So we'll see. We're just going to keep producing good content and, being a great community. And that includes all of you. And I thank all of you for that. And thank you to our moderators. And thank you to everyone that supports our channel. And if you're new to our channel, please like and subscribe. And we're going to be talking about the Karmelo Anthony case here. And this is a case that has really been heating up. Hold on 1 second. I just got to put my phone on the charger, but I'll talk to you. It's really been heating up, and it's become racial. It's become political where it shouldn't have been. And it's just... but the parents are absolutely, they said it themselves that they were delusional, and I will absolutely agree with them that they are delusional. I've been in a couple of chats I think it was last night and tonight earlier. And I've talked to some people that are just, they do not understand the law. They don't understand this case that we've been covering and following since day one when this happened. They don't understand it. They don't understand the way the legal system works. They don't understand the way that a judge goes over when someone doesn't want to testify and ask them multiple times. This is your own, you're not intimidated by your lawyers. You're not intimidated by anyone. You've been told that you can testify even if your lawyers advise against it. They go over and over that. So people tonight were thinking that he would get an appeal based on the fact that he was listening to his lawyers and didn't testify. Now, these are people that don't even, that are just bystanders. So they're saying that this, that he's going to get this appeal because his dad apparently said that, they're listening to the lawyers. No. You don't get an appeal based on that because the judge goes over. If you've, I guess they haven't watched trials, for that very reason, to make sure the defendant knows that they can take that stand, even no matter what. That is their right. And if somebody like another, I think it was the DA said it. The DA did an interview and said it's very unusual if someone is claiming self-defense that they would not get up on that stand and tell their story. And you have to think of it too, and this is what I said in one of the chats I was in, because all these people were like just throwing out this stuff that you could not believe. Stuff like Austin fell on the knife. I said, why don't you just say Austin reached in the bag, grabbed the knife, and stabbed himself? You can't believe it. You just sit there and you're saying, do these people even hear themselves? So then they said that he had to use deadly force. If that isn't a case to use deadly force, I mean, come on. He was scared. I can't even think of all the crazy things that were said in that chat tonight. But I said, well, why didn't he get up on the stand? If he was jumped by 4 people like you're saying, and they were saying like he jumped from the 3rd row, 4 people jumped on him from the 3rd row of bleachers or something. This is so crazy. Some crazy thing they were saying. I said, if that happened, why did he just sit there in court and everyone's watching the video and seeing this is one way? Wouldn't he have gotten on that stand and said, wait a second, I know you're seeing this is one way, but 4 people jumped me, yada, yada, yada. Why didn't he get up and say it? Oh, because he was listening to his lawyers. You can't. Okay? But now, I got to watch an interview on something called The Breakfast Club with this woman, Mimi. And the parents are both sporting, and I have to do this and check this, these shirts that say hashtag believe Karmelo. Are they selling those shirts for money? For Karmelo? Acquiring minds. I have to check on that. But I want to go over some of this interview, and I've been taking notes. I had to go out today and did some things. I didn't get back till later, and then we had the game on, and then the Knicks won, and then I listened a little bit more, listened to some things when we were traveling. Okay, so let me go. So I've got a lot of notes on this, okay? Okay, so now one of the parents lies, and it's probably, Drew, and some people pronounce her name Kala, and some people pronounce her name Kayla. It's Kala. We're going to call her Kayla. They said Austin didn't die in Hunter's arms, and that's a lie. Okay. First of all, I want you to know that neither Drew, that's Andrew Anthony, was not at the track meet, nor was his mother, Kayla Kala. She was not at the track meet. But they both sat there and said it's not true. That's just a narrative they're trying to explain. Really, that's just a narrative. That's why you can clearly hear Hunter on the 911 call. That's why in the reports they had to move Hunter out of the way to do the CPR. Yeah? Because he wasn't right there, right? Right. Okay. You guys are liars. Okay? And I think the reason you're trying to spread that lie is because you know that it sounds so terrible, right? And it doesn't go along with your narrative, right? That these are bullies, trained jiu-jitsu fighters that just went and just picked on your son and caused him to pull out that knife and have to use deadly force, right? Doesn't fit that. Yeah. Okay. It's a lie. It's a lie, people. Okay? Austin did die in Hunter's arms. So, let's see. About another lie. An all-white jury. That's another lie. It was not an all-white jury. Number one, both the defense and the prosecution picked the jurors. So their defense attorney was there. Now, I've told you before that one of the prospective black jurors said, I don't know if I could put a brother in prison, or I wouldn't feel good sending a brother to prison. How could you have somebody biased like that on the jury? I'm sure it sounds like they wanted somebody biased like that on the jury. Okay? So there were reasons that prospective black jurors were struck, and their defense attorney was there. Okay? But it was not an all-white jury. There were Asian people on it. There were Hispanics. There was Middle Eastern. So it was not an all-white jury. Another lie. Okay. Let me see what he said. Kayla said all the witnesses' statements were inconsistent, that they all lied, right? No. They were consistent. There might have been some inconsistencies of where somebody was, but that's in a chaotic situation. That's human memory. And no, they were for the most part consistent. And let me tell you something. Those eyewitnesses were not all white. They were black. Okay. So let's see. What do I have here? 4 out of the 6 were black. Let's see. And there's even, from people that were in the courtroom, Marianne Martinez, who was in there from the Daily Mail, talked about that if you want to go back and look at her tweets. And so supposedly they're saying that Karmelo was surrounded, ganged up on. Where? Okay, but that was after the stabbing. If anybody was going after him, But we found out he was running, supposedly, his father says, to a teacher to go get a hug. Okay. But that's not true, okay? Because that teacher testified and said that Karmelo was handed over to him and told not to let him leave. And that was by Tiffany. And there's a statement from her. So Drew Anthony is a liar there about all of what happened there, that his son just went to go to some coach to get a hug. No, that's not true. Okay. Now, again, his father says Karmelo didn't take the witness stand because the prosecution never proved their case. That doesn't even make sense, okay? Because if he's claiming self-defense, he would want to tell his story. And let's see. Then he explained that they need a new attorney, somebody that's going to fight for him. And he said because this whole thing that the prosecution has, and this whole thing is that Karmelo provoked this. And he didn't even answer. He just gives like another answer, being like non-responsive. So, why do I think he didn't take the stand? Well, now there's something circulating, what I heard in one of these chats tonight, that apparently there's some lawyer on Facebook that's saying the prosecution had some sort of a text message that could be very, from what I'm gathering, from what I'm hearing, could be very damning perhaps to Karmelo should he take the stand. Maybe he has something in his background there that he didn't want to get out, or something, or a text message that might come out. I don't know. That would be very damning, is what I picking up in my opinion there. But I think he has no remorse. He has not shown any remorse. He felt he was in the right. He thought he would get away with this, and he would make a terrible witness, especially in the cross. And again, the hashtag Believe Karmelo shirts, I need to find out if they're selling them for more money, because he claims he's indigent and he needs a public defender for his appeal. Okay? And which he has filed the motion. Now, let's see here. Fair trial, the parents said absolutely not. They do not fear, oh my gosh, they do not feel he had a fair trial. Why? Oh, because everybody lied, right? And when asked why the defense didn't put up more witnesses, the father says, that's not my department. Okay. And Austin was in that tent, asked to be a leader, in charge as a leader. Oh, I also heard someone on YouTube claiming, I don't know whether she's claiming to be an attorney or what. I don't know what she's doing, okay? But she's saying that, if I remember correctly, they're failed athletes, the Metcalf brothers, and she was just saying the most disparaging things about them. Sit down. Sit yourself down, okay? Sit yourself down. They were great athletes, and they were great kids, and Hunter's a great kid and a great athlete. So just go sit yourself down and stop spreading rumors about first a deceased person and, a deceased 17-year-old wonderful athlete, and his brother, his twin brother, whose arms he died in. Leave them alone. Leave the Metcalf family alone, lady. Okay. Then, so they make it, now the father said such crazy things. They make it look like Karmelo was looking for trouble. Why did he bring a knife to a track meet? Why did he go under another team's tent? Why? Okay. no witnesses to benefit Karmelo. You need a better attorney. I wrote down, you've got over 600,000. Why didn't you get a great attorney with that? Then they go on to say that Mike Howard, who they got, one of the things I was watching, they show an advertisement and say that he says he's not a junkyard dog, he's not aggressive, he'll fight for his clients, but he's very easygoing. And that's who they picked. Hi, Slam RN. Okay, I said the parents need to look at themselves. They hired the lawyer. The money's gone. Where did it go? Okay, now Anthony Drew Anthony, Andrew Anthony, was very upset by Mr. Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf saying, look at me. But he ties that into somebody saying they should go back to the hood. You should just hear this when you hear the interview. It is the most crazy thing. And we're talking about the Breakfast Club interview. He says he's in the middle of saying something like, we stayed in our own lane. We lived in a good neighborhood. We did the right things or whatever. But now we have people saying to us, you need to go back to the hood. You didn't do this right or something. And then he goes, and it's going to come out. They said this to us. And she's like, what? And he's like, they said this to us. First of all, he wasn't even in court when the victim's impact statements were read because you abandoned your son because you couldn't hear it. You didn't want to hear the impact statements. But you then say those back to the hood things. You say that Jeff Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf said that, and it's going to come out because they said, look at me. They said, look at me to Karmelo because they wanted him to look at them when they're talking to him. Well, he never looked at he never looked at him when Jeff Metcalf was talking to him. And Hunter, who spoke very respectfully, said, look, I respectfully ask you to look me into the eyes when I'm talking to you. Look me in the eyes. He did for a brief few seconds and then continued to look down. So why Drew Anthony goes there, I don't know, but I just put what Drew Anthony sit down. Let's see. Drew and the mother were not even in court. Hunter and Jeff did ask, look me in the eye. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did, and they had every right to. Okay. Okay, then we have, then let's go back, still on that interview. So the Anthonys describe themselves as being in a nightmare. They're at a loss for words. They did hear from Karmelo, and they heard that he suffered a seizure, so they have to go to the courthouse with his medication. And that's another thing. These other groups are saying, oh my gosh, he has epilepsy, so that should have been a defense. Okay. Did you ever hear that a side effect of epilepsy is that you murder someone? Because I haven't. Okay. So they say he has a 3.7 GPA, worked 2 jobs. He's taking online classes. Even during this traumatic time, a captain of the track and football teams, saved a kid's life. Now here comes something interesting. Okay. The father says he didn't even know how great his son was until this tragedy. Well, that says volumes, doesn't it? That says volumes about how much time they've spent together. How much time did they spend together? Your son is so great. He's the captain of the football team. You say he's the captain of the track team. I haven't verified this. You said he had this great GPA. You say that he saved a kid from drowning because the woman said he jumped in the pool and got her child. But you didn't know this, okay, until this tragedy. He says something more about that later on. He likes to play Legos with his girlfriend. And then the mother starts, oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. But she's talking about that there's a brother, Andrew, 12, which is a little bit odd, right? That the younger brother would be named after the father. So it just had me think, is Drew Karmelo's father? Biological father? I don't know. The way a woman last night was going on and on about the Metcalfs, speaking about somebody that Austin and Hunter's mother was with, and just, it was just terrible. Do we know anything about that? We don't. So, yet she was just ridiculous. But it does say, it does seem a little odd, but whatever. And they said, they came to find out, they stayed to themselves, they stayed home. They didn't know how cruel the world can be until their son's face is plastered. They've been doxxed. They didn't even know what doxing was. They had to be kept safe for their other kids. He didn't even know what he did. And then it said, he says that, this is what he said. He didn't even really know what Karmelo was doing. Like he had a job or he didn't have a job, or he told him, you spend too much time with your girl, you should get a job. But he sounds like someone that really was not very close to his son. Okay? It really sounds like that. He says, someone walked into his life, and look where they are now. Someone walked into his life. Your son walked under a tent that he shouldn't have been under. Delusional is right. Delusional is completely right here. Okay. Parents were not at the track meet. They asked the mother, how did she hear about this? What happened? She said she heard about it through an email. And that there was an incident. And then she used Life 360 because she heard that the buses had brought the track players home, to the school, but that Karmelo was still at that stadium. So then I think she went down there, and then the father found out, well, he was working. He said, and because it was April 2nd and it was after April Fool's Day, he thought they were playing a joke on him. Okay, and she said, no, he was involved in a stabbing. And then they said they kept them like in the dark. Everything was moving so fast. And they had to bind him. And the next day they got doxxed. And then everything went boom. And the race card came out. And a lot of adults used his son to say how they feel, he said. So then the host asked, did Karmelo want to get a story out? Did he want to get a story out about what happened? And the father said, well, he listened to what he was advised. We played the game they wanted us to play. He accuses the Metcalfs of lying about Austin dying in Hunter's arms. I already went through that. It's horrible. Lies. Says Karmelo had the book thrown at him and got 35 years. If he had the book thrown at him, he would have got life, which a lot of people think your son deserved. And they think 35 years is a very lenient sentence. They manipulated us with a smile, is what the father said. They manipulated us with a smile. Okay, onto the jury selection. They tried to be positive, but there were no black jurors. Did you want to say something? Yeah. Well, we did what was advised, and look where we are now. Look what happened. Okay, so then he's 18, they said, so we played, they played everybody against everybody. Hi, Tree Dog. Told us we needed a white attorney, and that the attorney did not object when he should have, they said, and that he did not receive a fair trial. And it was hard, and they had their moments, but he keeps saying this is not his Wyans. What is this? I don't even know what he is saying by that word, Wyans. Does anybody understand that? Oh, but they said he kept up his GPA and he graduated, and they had a smear campaign against him, and they're going to need a black network. I don't know. He's all over the place. A black network for what? To put up a documentary? To show what happened to him? What is this black network? Or is he talking about a black network of people to fight for him? I don't know. Then she asked, as you were watching the trial, now listen to this one. As you were watching the trial, did you think it was heading in the direction it was? No. They felt good about this. Listen to me. Okay? They felt good about this. They didn't think it was heading in this direction. Then they say everybody lied. One girl, they said, made up a lie. Said Karmelo was talking about he wanted to race or something. Why didn't the defense call more witnesses? Again, he says, not my department. Even the kid that invited him to the tent, they said he didn't even know him. All witnesses' testimony was inconsistent, they said. And then the mother said, but it didn't matter what I told them because the jury already had their minds made up. How did race play into it? They said a big part was race and politics, and they can't believe it because Karmelo doesn't even vote. And then they say, well, we bought new cars and a new house. But he doesn't come out and say, you better listen to how he does this. He says, they said we bought a new cars and a house. Who could buy a house in 4 days, he says. He doesn't say that's not true. We didn't do it. He said, who could buy a house in 4 days? And then he says, we may not make the right I think at the right choices. I said, but come on. And then at one point said it was the Metcalfs that did that. Okay, so the Metcalfs bought a new house and cars. The Metcalfs didn't even have the fundraiser that you guys had. What are you talking about? You can see Jeff Metcalf lives in the exact same house. When you look at the pictures he showed, the kids are in that same fireplace that he's sitting in front of. More lies. Okay. They had to move because they were doxxed. Their other kids weren't safe, and they had to take the other kids out of school because of the TikTok videos. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Because you can get assaulted and you can't fight back. Where were you assaulted? Where was your son assaulted that he needed to stab someone in the heart? He says that, then he says something like, oh my gosh, the Metcalfs are saying they were robbed. Now, I believe that's when, if I'm not mistaken, that they said something like they were robbed of the time with their son, or they were robbed of their son's life. So this guy is taking this like literal or something. He's acting like something's coming in on his phone during this interview. It's really bizarre. And he says again that Karmelo didn't go look for this. This walked into his life. They jumped 3 bleachers to get to him. They are all inconsistent. So then the host says, wait a second. Is this shown on the video? Do you see this on the video? And the father says, well, the video shows Karmelo go in and sit down, but then you really can't see it well because the DA like rigged the video, he says, and he put the spotlight on Austin and Hunter. Well, I ask you something. If he put that spotlight on Austin and Hunter, and allegedly they jumped 3 bleachers to get to Karmelo, and they had a spotlight on them, wouldn't we see that spotlight? So how would putting a spotlight on Austin and Hunter hurt Karmelo in that video? I would think that would really show how Austin and Hunter jumped Karmelo if that happened. You make no sense, Drew Anthony. None at all. Okay. And then Karmelo says they tried to minimize it. Putting a spotlight on the people you say jumped your son minimizes it. Okay, and then they start saying, we heard that in Texas, if you even threaten someone online, you can use deadly force. And then the wife comes in to kind of correct that a little bit, but they're off to the races on this stuff. Then he says, and Jeff Metcalf has gone over this, that Hunter and Austin are trained jiu-jitsu fighters. No, they're not. He went over that. They took jiu-jitsu when they were little kids. Okay. Then about them running to the teacher, crying, hugging, hysterical. They painted him to make him look like he was leaving. Did the teacher testify? The host asked. Oh, yes. He says the person says Karmelo threw the knife or something. He didn't. He had a cut in his hand. He's all over the place, okay? And then he says Yeah, he threw it. No, he didn't throw it. Oh, his hand was cut. You could see he dropped it. He fell, and then he ran to the coach. Says the video showed the incident. Did you talk to your attorney? And he says no. He hopes someone will send him someone who can help him. But then at the very end of this video, he claims that the attorney's calling. Okay. They said, well, did you talk to the defense attorney? He gave us a corporate response, is what he says. Corporate answer. Did Karmelo want to testify? No, it was based on the prosecution not proving their case. No, it's not. If it's self-defense, even the DA said that normally the person takes the stand to explain that. So it says we're going to need someone who's going to fight for us the entire case. That he promised them this and that and the other thing. He's saying like they didn't fight for them. They're going through hell. Karmelo's a real good kid. They have receipts that show that. Again with the Wyans. Don't know what the heck he's talking about. It's a tragedy. The law is supposed to cover them. This is what he says. The law is supposed to cover them. I think this man means the law is supposed to cover his son murdering someone. And then he says, as long as the devil doesn't knock at your door, this is what he's saying, they saw comments that they should go back to the hood. Okay, they said it in court. This is what he said, they'll look at me. How does that equate to go back to the hood? They weren't even there. And then he says this interview may put people off, and it may keep us, from getting help. But be careful in case that devil knocks at your door, he says, because you don't think it's going to happen to you, and then the law doesn't protect you. I think he's talking about other, the people that he wants to help him in his thing, that if they're going to abandon him, don't think that this can't happen to you, and then you'll need the help like he does. Because the law, he thought, was going to protect his son if he murdered someone? What? He wishes... what did he say here? He wishes he was rebellious. If he could change something, he wishes he was rebellious. They told us to go get a white attorney. And then he says he couldn't have a daddy moment with Karmelo because his mental health can't handle that. He wouldn't want him to hurt himself. So this was not the time for a daddy moment. Really? Okay. But that this situation brought them closer. And then this is a funny thing. He goes, I wasn't really home a lot. I worked a lot. I was home on the weekend. I was home a lot. Then he's like, he's all over the place, okay? And then they're saying, they're saying that our home life, but they were the ones that were divorced. But Bubba, he's gone back and forth like a weeble. But then saying, I was home, I wasn't home. It's so bizarre, okay? And then again, I watched the one with the DA. But I'll tell you, there have been vile attacks against the Metcalf family since this. People have said and written the most horrible things, that they're going to defile Austin's grave. There were AI pictures of people urinating on Austin's grave that were meant to be put out there as real pictures. There were threats against Hunter's life. There were people that said they were glad Austin was dead and he effed around and found out, and all kinds of horrible things, that people were going to come to their house, people were going to take care of them. things towards Hunter. Also, there was 4 friends of Hunter and Austin's that they were at the courthouse. They were supposed to be escorted out, and they weren't. And then they were attacked, like going to their car with horrible verbal things that were caught on video. I saw them myself, saying they were glad Austin was dead, and just horrible things about Hunter. It was just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Okay, so I don't know where you all are on this, and if you all are hearing this after listening to these lies, I think Austin's parents need to sue them for defamation. Says Ariel, is that they have caused them so much harm through their lies. Hopefully, Karmelo. Yeah, it's terrible. And them going on, okay, I think probably the worst things that they're saying is like that he didn't die in his twin brother's arms. Like, what are you even lying about that, Drew? It's just disgusting. It really is. And someone said, like, why are these murderers' parents being put on interviews like victims? Seriously. You know, I was in a chat tonight, like I told you, and a woman said to me, his name is Karmelo, use his name. And I said, no, I'll call him what he is, a murderer. That's what I'll do. Don't tell me what to do about a murderer when you are disrespecting the victim. Okay? I said it was Austin that was murdered. And I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of it on YouTube. I don't think YouTube should get away with what is going on. Okay, there's freedom of speech. But do you know in a chat I was in last night, they were making death threats against Hunter, saying Hunter's next. And I think only one person spoke out and said, like, Hunter's next, WTF. The host, the 2 hosts that were on there, just let that go through. And that wasn't the only thing like that. There was something else that was really crazy that went through. And defamatory things against the victims. But then that outright thing about the other twin is next, or however it was worded. And I'll tell you something, that should not be allowed. And all of these videos and stuff, spreading all of this misinformation, it's disgusting. And why are they doing this? Because they need to create a narrative in order to get money? So they have to portray it as victims? Or what are we doing here? Because it's disgusting. And so now that they're having a platform and they've got these shirts and they're going on that they didn't get a fair trial and they didn't get this and they didn't get that. You've heard the threats against Hunter too. I hope he's safe. Absolutely. I hope he's safe. I just cannot even believe it. I don't even know, like, I just have never seen something like tonight and last night when I went into these chats and just saw the sheer misinformation. That's the kindest way I could say it. Cluelessness, callousness, hate that's going on in there. Horrific. How that is allowed on this platform, not okay. Seems like these parents never received a proper education. Maybe people are not told how to think, but when to think. These people can't put two ideas together coherently. It was a diverse jury. I don't buy that so much that, oh, they didn't know this and poor them. And because, I saw her mother, I saw Kayla or Kala's mother go outside, dressed up to the nines, okay? And she seemed well-spoken, but she just kept chanting, biased, racist, this and that, but she was pandering to the crowd with her little hearts, okay? And now you're going to see the hearts come out. She was pandering with her little hearts and telling them, like, to stay tuned. Or it sounded to me like she was telling them, keep it up and we're going to need help. And, I don't know. She was trying to keep up this narrative that they were done dirty. They weren't done dirty. See, they cannot accept. They are in complete denial. What happened here? He thought the law would cover them. So what are you trying to say, Drew? Because of the color of your son's skin, that the law will cover him if he murders someone? Because I think that's what Drew is trying to say. Because how does the law cover you? You stab someone in the chest and kill them when you're under a tent where you don't belong, when you're told over 15 times to leave, and when someone gives you a little push or a gentle shove towards the exit. You say the law will cover you if you murder that person, or you were under that assumption. Is anyone here under that assumption that if someone gives you a little, you're somewhere you don't belong, they tell you to leave, you don't listen? 15 times they tell you, and then they give you a little bit of a push towards the door, that you would be wrong if you just took out a knife and plunged it into their heart and killed them, that the law would not cover you? Because you can listen to the interview yourself. Let me know if I'm wrong with what he said, but that's what I wrote down that he said in my notebook, so I'm trying to understand how he meant that. They are remorseless. Oh, yeah, did I tell you that they blame things on the Metcalfs, that they bought houses and cars? Did they have a GoFundMe that raised over $600,000? The Metcalfs? Okay, good night, Slam. I don't know. It's very infuriating to me, really. Really infuriating. If anybody wants to come up and talk about it, Ariel, if you want to call in, or anybody that wants to come on and talk about it, you're welcome to email me and I'll give you the number. But it's absolutely infuriating. I'm going to take a look and see if they are, they actually thought he would walk for taking a life. I don't understand this. Neither do I. Neither do I. And I want to see if these new shirts, if we have more fundraisers going on with those, let's see. Yeah, and how are we believing Karmelo? Someone said this. Okay, I've covered this case from when it started. Many people have. There were people tonight, even in the other chat, said, we've never heard this kid talk. We have never heard his voice throughout all of this. Why didn't he speak? And like I said, someone said, I heard one lawyer say that there may have been something, again, in his past. Now, they said that they went digging and they found in a hearing or something that his father said, oh, he's a good kid, he doesn't have anything, but he does have, I believe he called it an altercation in school that year. So what was the altercation? Did he not want that to come out? Could it have been something with a weapon? We don't know. Is that why he didn't testify? So how can we believe Karmelo when we've never even heard Karmelo, right? And we've seen the facts. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yes, would you believe these shirts are for sale, guys? Support and awareness merchandise featuring the hashtag Believe Karmelo message can be found online through specialized custom fan apparel platforms like Tees, Local.com. They run around $22.99 to $27.99. Okay, and Flyway brand is officially dropping. Oh, look, it dropping. Hold on, they mean dropping. Yeah, dropping. They don't mean drop it. They mean you're dropping. You can get them. Okay, send a love letter to Karmelo. Your words can make a difference, it says. They give his inmate information. They give his address. This is a meme thing that they put up here. Write today. Send our baby some love. We're adopting him. Hashtag Karmelo. Hashtag purposed for the people. Purposed for the people. Karmelo. They even have his name spelled wrong here. They have Karmelo affect. Karmelo affect. They have that wrong. Believe Karmelo and a mass boycott. What is going on? Doesn't even make any sense here, this whole thing here. But let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to see about these shirts. So this one person was saying something about the Flyway brand. Oh my, he jumped 3 bleachers, somebody said. Yeah, let's hear this one. Let me see here. I want to see these comments. Hello, your son stabbed a kid in the heart. And like they said in court, he was dead on the spot, and that's where he stabbed him fatally. He killed someone, period. He seems out of touch with reality, like Natalie Sharilla. These people are grifters making money off of this tragedy. Neither one holds a job. I'd be suing them civilly if I was the Austin family. They should not be benefiting from this. They're talking about the Anthony's interview. Why was there a knife on him? Was he going to peel an apple, maybe? Bottom line, he stabbed someone. Oh, that's what somebody told me in the chat. It wasn't a knife, it was a tool. Why take a knife to a school function? They think we are as stupid as they are. It's insulting. Your kid stabbed someone in the heart and killed them. Why do you not understand that? Your kid plunged a knife into someone's heart. Why is it so hard to process that in your head? It's straight up murder. I'm reading these comments. These are comments I'm reading. Karmelo, they're not my words. These are people's words. Karmelo came into Austin's tent. Austin did not go to Karmelo's tent. Karmelo should have kept his behind with his own team in their own tent. He came into Austin's tent looking for trouble. He should have gotten life. These people need to go away for a while because they make my blood pressure go up. Let's see. She's not smart enough to understand he took a life. The end. Not only did they have a give fund go to collect money, they sold merchandise like the shirts they're wearing. The mother started an LLC to protect the money and saying they had to move prior to the trial because of harassment or safety due to white supremacists. Where is their record of anything like that happening? There sure is proof of Black Panthers and other groups being there, though. They are just ridiculously in denial.
Tell me that.
It's crazy. Okay, let's see. He was at the head of his own fate, taking another. And I know his father keeps saying that somebody walked into his life or so. No, Karmelo, what is this, like, crazy? I don't even get anything like this. It's just so crazy.
It's like it.
Okay, let's see. The Flyway brand officially dropping the Karmelo Anthony tribute tee. Tribute tee. Get yours now. Okay. Crazy. I don't know. It's just, it's horrible. Okay, let me see what you're saying here. All right, let's see. One person was armed, yes. I heard he wanted to bring the knife to school before this happened. Yeah, well, I think maybe that altercation or whatever they said, that, yeah, altercation in school. And then apparently something about a text. Let me see something here. Okay. I'm trying to get, I want to see one other thing too. Some woman was in one of the chats tonight, I believe, saying that Austin Metcalf was suspended and shouldn't even have been there. He wasn't suspended. They're telling such lies. It's absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable, the lies that they're telling. Okay, let me say something. Because they let me go back to something from when he was released. When he was released back in 2025, okay? Let me see something. That's when they got Dominique Alexander out there, right? Anthony posted bond and was released from the Collin County Jail. He had nothing to say to reporters who asked, how was this self-defense? The 17-year-old was fitted with an ankle monitor. Oh, yeah, he's been doing things around the house. That's what his father said. And will be on house arrest as he awaits trial. That means he can only leave his house with prior approval from the court. He must be supervised by a parent or designated adult at all times and is required to check in with the judge and bailiff every Friday morning. He isn't allowed to use social media and can't contact the family of the alleged victim in any way. I'm sure he wasn't using social media. I'm sure he wasn't on an account himself, but I'm sure. You don't think he was accessing social media? That's my opinion. The bond reduction hearing began at 9 a.m. with Anthony entering the courtroom in a gold jumpsuit, handcuffed and chained. His father and mother both testified during the hearing. They said Anthony is their oldest child and has 3 siblings. The family moved to the DFW area in 2021. He was the captain of the football and track teams and has never been arrested before this incident. He has worked at Foot Locker for 2 years and worked a second job at HEB. They're using worked in the past tense there. So is that just what they said, or was he really not holding a job at the time? Anthony's attorneys originally asked the judge to reduce the bond to $150,000, given that Karmelo has no prior criminal history and given the young man has not been in any sort of trouble before. $1 million is not necessary, said defense attorney Mike Howard. That's the defense attorney that they hired. This family needs to be able to survive. There's been a tremendous amount of pressure. I think at this point, living in a gated community, given everything, the safety of their younger children is very warranted. Security details and criminal defense is not cheap. Howard suggested the ankle monitor and house arrest to give the young man a chance to get out of jail and be with his family. Most murder those facing a murder charge are not let out, right? After the bond hearing, Howard addressed the media outside the Collin County Courthouse, said every Texan deserves the right to defend themselves when they reasonably fear for their life. Self-defense is a protection that applies to each and every one of us. There are 2 sides to every story. Karmelo is a 17-year-old kid and an excellent student. He is the captain of the track team and the captain of his football team. This is a tragedy all the way around for both families. Howard did not answer questions about why Anthony was armed with a knife. That's an understandable question, but it's not something that we're prepared to go into. You never did. It would be irresponsible for me or them to say this is why. We ask that the public, as hard as it is, withhold judgment. Howard said that this has been a one-sided investigation up until this point, but his team is confident that after a full investigation, the truth will come out. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's to ensure someone comes to court. He believes both sides want the tension surrounding the case to calm down. In cross-examination, prosecutors said Anthony was in an altercation, here we go, on February 4th in school. The altercation did not involve law enforcement. I thought they said he's never been in trouble before. They brought up a fundraising page that is operated by Anthony's mother with a $500,000 goal and is currently at $412,000. Collin County First Assistant Bill Worski asked why they hadn't bonded him out of jail yet if they had more than $400,000. Anthony's parents said it's a difficult process to get the money. And if it isn't as simple as giving a phone call to access it, the family also said a lot of the money has to go to the legal defense. Worski said this appears to be unjustified first-degree murder. For reasons unknown, the defendant brought a knife to a track meet for what probably could have been a fist fight at worst. The family could make this $1 million bond as soon as they get access to it. I don't know why we're here, he said. He also said, this has devastated two families. Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis called the case a terrible tragedy for not just Frisco, but the Collin County community. We look forward to continuing the process and looking at all the facts of this case. He said to the media, attention outside the courthouse after the bond reduction hearing, we will go where the facts lead us. He said this case has struck a nerve in this community. It is hard for everyone to be level-headed at a time like this. It's our job to be level-headed, to be fact-based, and follow the truth wherever it may lead, Willis said. Judge Angela Tucker said she learned of this case assignment last Monday and that cases are assigned at random. She was only presiding over the bond reduction hearing. There will be another random selection for the judge assigned to the trial. Judge Tucker said she's never had the security issue she's faced with this case. She's also said during the hearing there's a bond hearing and not a trial. The purpose of the bond hearing is to ensure the defendant will return to court. Okay, let me see here now. Trying to look at this. Let me see here. Okay, this is back from the day. It says a witness told police that Anthony was sitting under the Memorial High School tent and was told to leave. Anthony allegedly told Metcalf, touch me and see what happens. One witness told police that Metcalf then pushed Anthony to get him out of the tent, and Anthony then reached into a bag and stabbed Metcalf. Anthony was arrested and is now charged with first-degree murder. I want to see here. I want to go through these things. Frisco teen dies in twin brother's arms. Apparently, the Anthony's say that's not true. All right. Frisco track meets that police warn against misinformation online. Let's see. So we had a February 4th incident at the school. Let me look at this. Okay. Karmelo Anthony. Granted house arrest. Okay, let me see here. And what stadium video shows? Yeah, what are they jump 3 bleachers? Yeah. What the heck? Let me go over here. Oh, they said something too. I'm trying to think of who said it, but that I think it was these people. That it was biased because the Metcalf family cried during parts of the trial, or that they were crying. I believe the parents said something about that too. Okay, I want to look at this. This is from 2025 about the video. It says the Frisco Independent School District has released surveillance footage of a deadly stabbing that occurred during a track meet in April, but only under strict conditions. Under Texas open records law, requesters may view such video in some cases but are not permitted to record it. The video begins several minutes before the altercation between Karmelo and Austin. The camera positioned near the press box captured half of the field at Kendall Stadium. The tent where the incident occurred is located in the bleachers near the 50-yard line. Due to the camera's distance, individuals are not easily identifiable. At 9:55 a.m., a sudden movement is seen under the tent, followed by an interaction between two figures. Frisco ISD officials say that is the moment the stabbing occurred. Two individuals. Several people are seen walking or running away while others approach the area. Minutes later, an ambulance arrives, entering through the gate near the end zone and driving to the 50-yard line. Paramedics appear to realize they cannot reach Metcalf, who is in the bleachers, with the stretcher. They return to the end zone and then carry it into the stands. When paramedics work on Metcalf, someone places crime scene tape and unrolls a blue tarp higher in the stands behind the tent. Police later said this is where the knife used in the stabbing was found. Higher in the stands. At about 10:13, paramedics begin moving the stretcher towards the entrance as the ambulance reverses alongside it. 6 or 7 individuals surround the stretcher as it's loaded into the ambulance at 10:15. The vehicle does not depart until 10:20. The video continues on for several more minutes, showing police activity under the tent. Prosecutors may present the footage to the grand jury. Okay, let me see here. And Hunter said, if you could look me in the eye, this is when he delivered his victim's impact statement, if you could look me in the eye while I speak, I would really respect that. But Anthony kept his head down as Hunter accused him of swallowing evil to take control on the day of the killing. You let the devil take over in that moment. Eventually your name will be forgotten, but my brother's memory will live on. Hunter told the court he wanted everything to be taken away from Anthony. After losing the brother he had expected to spend the rest of his life alongside. You took a son, a brother, a friend, and my best friend from this world. And Austin's mother said, you may have just been given a sentence of 35 years behind bars, but you can consider yourself lucky because I've been sentenced to a lifetime without my son. Anthony broke down in tears after the verdict was read in the courtroom. He then again sobbed, his head held down as he re-entered the courtroom for his sentencing. Again, his family wasn't there. He never made any kind of allocution statement, right? He never said he was sorry for what he did. His mother got on the stand and said, I know my son, he's very sorry for what he did. Okay, I want to look at one. There was something else. What was I just going to go look up? Something really important. Hold on a minute. What the heck was it? I'm trying to think. Let me see what this is. Okay. Karmelo Anthony's appeal. He's launching that. We heard that. Something I was going to go look up about. I'm trying to see what the heck it was. Oh, I know what it was. Okay. Yes. Let me see this. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Trying to see. Private meeting. Okay, I'm reading something now. Let me read something here. So they said that the parents claim there's video footage, but interestingly enough, they don't actually show it. Suspicious. The defense attorney did bring witnesses. Each one confirmed the prosecution's argument. GPA is irrelevant. One can be a model student and still commit a crime. Someone said they can say whatever they want. It doesn't change. No one in that courtroom thought the same as them. Why are they each wearing a shirt that says, "Believe Karmelo"? I've never heard him speak. He didn't testify. Someone says Karmelo was jumped. The video footage confirmed it. He didn't taunt anyone. Oh my gosh. There is no such video, and no one there testified to him being jumped. All for you fighting injustices, but you have to do so with facts and evidence, not something you heard on social media that was posted for clicks or sympathy or outrage rather than truthfulness. If they had concern about the quality of his representation, then they could have paid for the attorney. They did pay for the attorney. Okay, let's see now. Someone said that it's not what the video showed at all, but even if it did, you're saying a full courtroom watched a video of Karmelo being jumped and decided to ignore it. Delusional. Someone said this case does not need a serious review. The jury made the right decision. Karmelo refused to leave when asked over 15 times. Cussed out and threatened the memorial team when they asked him to leave, and then he stabbed Austin in the heart when shoved. Multiple eyewitnesses confirmed. This included witnesses who were black. If there was actually a video proving Karmelo's innocence, it would have been played in court. But it was, no, right, but the video was played. The video, they say that his parents are lying now. Just like how everyone on Karmelo's side lied during the process. Even Karmelo's own witnesses confirmed he was the aggressor. His parents and Karmelo's supporters have repeatedly lied throughout this whole process, including lying constantly about the Metcalf family and the incident. Austin Metcalf was not a bully, and he was not violent. He was an innocent child that was murdered because Karmelo's pride was hurt. The attorney didn't have an actual case to present. This was cut and dry murder. If Karmelo and his family were smart, they would have pled. But they decided to let it go to trial and make this whole case about race and milk Karmelo's defense to the tune of $600K, which they used to rent a bigger house and buy a car. So if you listen to the father carefully, and that's what I said, I think they're renting a house. No one can buy a house in 4 days. He doesn't say that they didn't use the money. He said, you can go back and listen, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Nobody can buy a house in 4 days. So does he mean they used it to rent a house? That's silly. We didn't buy a house with that money. Does he mean that they rented a house with that money? GPA doesn't matter. That's completely irrelevant. He murdered a child because pride and ego was hurt. And he got what he deserved, honestly. I'm reading this. I thought the jury was merciful to only give him 35 years. Please point me to a law that says if a teenager has a good GPA, then they're allowed to murder people with no consequences. The entire case for Karmelo relies on whataboutism. I've never seen a single person on Karmelo's side make an argument based on the facts of this case and the law, which is what the jury actually bases their decisions on. The whole idea that the jury was racist because there were no black jurors on it is stupid. If the jury was generally racist, they wouldn't have given Karmelo a second chance in the free world with decades left on his lifespan. The jury made the right decision. His appeal won't go anywhere. He will spend at least 2 decades in prison doing hard manual labor in the Texas heat, which is exactly what he deserves. This person says if he wants someone to blame for it, he can look in the mirror. And so someone said, answer my question. What authority did Metcalf have to tell Anthony, get up and leave the tent? Someone said, there is video footage of the incident which was played in court and confirms that Karmelo was jumped by several boys, including Metcalf. Someone said, quite the imaginative retelling. His parents claim that the defense attorney didn't bring witnesses and didn't do any cross-examination, which hampered their son's case. Maybe they should have had another lawyer. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. There is zero evidence to support that murderer. Okay. Okay, let me see something here. Okay, so here's some of what the parents said in a transcript on that interview that I was talking about. Right now, we're in a nightmare. It doesn't feel real. We've been up all night, crying, praying, waiting for family to come in. We're at a loss of words for words. Then he said he consulted black attorneys, encouraged him to hire a white attorney. They're like, oh, you need a white attorney to go in there and fight out there. Remember they were telling us that? They kept telling us that. It's a decision that he regrets now, it seems. He said, I was told, don't talk to this person, don't talk to that person. I feel like it was a setup. They told us, go get white attorneys. He said he believed there was a smear campaign against Karmelo. He was never in trouble. Well, that's a lie. February 4th. And no, he was never suspended for no knife. Is that another semantics play, Mr. Anthony? Actually, what I learned is they had a smear campaign that they did. He said, referring to erroneous reports that the student was suspended prior to the incident. He had something that was discussed in court February 4th, right? The father spoke about reaching several people for help, only to hit roadblocks. It's kind of a circle thing, which I understand, but I realize that a black network is going to have to be done. See, that's what I'm telling you. Regarding the incident, how it's affected the couple's other children, he said they ultimately ended taking them out of school. They had TikTok videos that they showed Anthony with stuff, and they said that some people were saying stuff that was going to happen to Karmelo in jail. That was my daughter, my princess. She had to go through that as the legal process moves forward. Mother and father say they're continuing the process, the outcome of the trial and its impact on their family. The interview detailed how they're going to be responding to the guilty verdict and 35-year prison sentence while defending their son publicly. Let's see. Now, there's also some uproar about some politician, Representative Jasmine Crockett, when she was questioned whether race played a factor in the jury's decision. That was something crazy. She's like, it's not like he stabbed him multiple times. It was just one time. Let's see. Karmelo Anthony's grandmother chants, racist, biased, prejudiced. That's what she kept chanting. So crazy. It really is crazy. Okay, let me see. Let me go. No. There we go. If Karmelo's parent, let me see. I heard black jurors were picked. Yeah, but one of them said, I don't think I could send a brother. I wouldn't feel right sending a brother to prison. Right. That's not self-defense. No, it's not self-defense. Ariel, I don't know what they did with the money. If they had acted differently and been upset about what his son exactly and had a plea deal or something, but no, they put everybody through this trial, right? Yeah, all of that. So craziness. It's craziness, and it's craziness what's out there on this platform, on other platforms. People just saying the most absurd things. If you go into some of those chats, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. It's not based on facts. It's not based on reality. It's based on delusion, total delusion, denial, delusion, delirium. It just is. The facts are the facts, and some people can't handle the facts and they can't handle the truth. Let me go see what's on the this is what I want to see. Hang on one sec. Okay. I don't think so. Oh, yeah. The photo that was going around showing Austin Metcalf's father with the judge and the district attorney was not real. It wasn't even them. It was other people. Let's see. Court filing confirms Karmelo Anthony filed a notice of appeal and a pauper oath requesting appointed counsel for appeal. American Freedom Legal Fund. They have another legal fund for him. Okay, so someone, Charleston White, the biggest supporter of Karmelo Anthony and his family, and a driver behind their $1 million fundraiser, has exposed their grift. Karmelo's parents left the courthouse immediately after the verdict was read. They didn't even stick around for his... What? I don't even know what they're talking about. Someone said Karmelo supporters are starting to set up fraudulent LLCs under the guise of helping families who have endured domestic violence in order to funnel money to the Anthony family. This is said by Sarah Fields 47 minutes ago. She said a full report with receipts is coming tomorrow. That's Sarah Fields tweeting that. Okay, she says Karmelo supporters are starting to set up a fraudulent LLCs under the guise of helping families who have endured domestic violence in order to funnel money to the Anthony family. Wow. She said she's going to have more on that tomorrow. Full report with receipts coming tomorrow, 47 minutes ago. See what some comments on that are. Have there been? Let me go on her thing here and see what's going on with this. That's crazy, huh? Someone said they're also asking for Cash App donations to this organization for his appeal and claim that he's a descendant of Louisiana slaves because this justifies murder and automatically gives grounds for an appeal. Is that true? Oh, boy. I'm telling you what's on Twitter. I haven't gone through this. Sounds like a plot twist even Netflix wouldn't buy. Can't wait for the receipts. They'll be the most thrilling reading since a groceries list. Wow. Someone said, Sarah, did you see that? These, I'll just call them thing 1 and thing 2 because I are moving the narrative from Mello was jumped. LMFAO, are they scared of something brewing? They're moving the narrative from Mello was jumped. Someone said, keep calling it out, sister. Your work is fantastic and so appreciated. Let's see. Someone said this is why the Metcalf family needs to sue. Let's see. What does his family need the money for? I thought a public defender was going to handle the appeal. Trying to see here. Let me see what else she has here about this. Let's see. LOL, he deleted the post and then blocked me. So what is this about? Is it just painful for you? I guess somebody... Let's see. Okay. Karmelo Anthony update. Has he officially filed a notice of appeal following his conviction? The filing submitted shows that. Let me see what he does out here. Defendant's notice of appeal and pauper oath. Appointment of attorney on appeal. So someone said that Charleston White fell out with Karmelo Anthony's father. He recently said he had $75,000 for Karmelo's appeal. I don't know. Track me video shows 4 people assaulting. This footage should be released to shut all these liars down. Okay, because they're lying about the video. Okay, so anyway, yeah, that's interesting. So are they setting up fraudulent Karmelo supporters, fraudulent LLCs under the guise of helping families who have endured domestic violence in order to funnel money to the Anthony family. Sarah Fields is going to be, you can find her on Twitter, putting up stuff with that. Let's see. Okay, next generation, 36 submit to the Anthony family. What is this about? Next generation. Something's odd. Something's odd. Hang on a minute. Okay, I want to see something else if I can find this out. The heck is that? Let's see something. Let me see something. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to look up some stuff here. Karmelo Anthony was born May 10th, 2007. Something's wacko. I'm going to tell you something right now. Something's wacko, okay? Mark my words. Yeah, I think there's definitely, I have to research something, but there's something that's very strange, I'm going to tell you, in my opinion. And I'll research it before I go on any more about it. Now I want to see, something here. What is this? I wonder. Hold on one second. Okay. Something's weird. Something's very weird. Hold on a minute. Something is very weird. Math isn't mathing on this, okay? Just hang on one second. All right, I think. What in the absolute world is going on here? Something's wrong here. Hold on one second. I've got to look at something. Yeah, a little too crazy. One sec. Okay, I think I'm onto something. Just look at something really fast. Yep. Okay. All right, I'm gonna have to search, do some research tomorrow, but there's stuff that's not making much sense here. Just on this, there's something off. Okay, there's something going on. Okay, so let's see. You should not touch someone. Hey there, is that NC Mama 5? NC Mama 5? Karmelo Anthony was in the wrong tent. He was asked over 15 times to leave, and he was argumentative, provoking, and would not leave, and threatened. Touch me, see what happens. And he was shown the way to the tent. Sorry, you cannot exchange a stab or even a shove. It doesn't work, NC Mama 5. You should listen. You should not go under someone's tent where you don't belong. And you should listen if you're there and someone asks you to leave over 15 times. Yeah. Thanks for coming in. But that's not logical, what you said. Sorry. Hi, Heart Made Wise. Okay. He should have not been under that tent, and he should have not resisted. When he was asked to leave 15 times somewhere he had no business being. And much less threaten. Where'd NC go? Oh, too bad. I thought you could discuss this. Okay. I guess not. I guess not. Are you not able to discuss it, NC? Mom to 5. Goldie? Hi, Goldie. No, yeah, it's not self-defense. What are you saying, Heart? I don't know what's Heart saying. What are you saying, Heart? I can discuss this. What do you want to discuss? You're dozing off. Don't want to sleep block? What do you want to discuss? You bet he was adopted? What do you mean? Are you saying that? I don't know what you're saying, Jen. By Drew Anthony or by both of them? But it's not, but you know what it is, Hart? You can't just say it's a free country, he has a right to be there. Because that's like you going and sitting in the dugout of the opposite team you're playing. You have no business being there. It can be a free country, but it's not your place to be there, right? It's also like a wedding being held in a park and you saying you have every right to just sit down at one of the tables there and stay there because the park is a public place. But more specifically, in a sporting event, you can't just go and sit on another team's side, whether it's under a tent, whether it's on a bench, whether it's in a dugout. You can't do that, a free country or not. You know, in the supermarket, you can't just go jump in someone's shopping cart. I mean, there's things that you cannot do. Okay, in anything, in professional sports, in school sports, in it's just insane. It's like walking into a McDonald's and just sitting down in a booth with people you don't know and you're not invited, and you say, well, it's a free country, I can sit here and eat. No, you really can't, right? You're not invited there. That's their personal space. Well, that's the team's personal space. He had no right to be there. And much less when he was asked, or 15 times, you should have left. Right? I just... You can't do stuff like that. Right? Free country or not, you just can't do it. Think about like the Yankees playing the Red Sox. And so someone from the Red Sox is just going to go into the Yankee dugout or the Yankee locker room. I'm allowed to be here. It's a free country. You know? Are those social norms or written rules, though? Whatever it is, I don't know, Hart, if they're written there, but it's... I don't know, but it's customary. It's implied. He shouldn't be there and under another tent. And even if he didn't know, when he was asked to leave, he should have left. When he was asked to leave, he should have left. Let's say he didn't know. You hope people learn from this case and teach their children actions can have life-altering consequences. Texas is known for their tough sentencing, but I don't think he got a tough sentence. I don't think he did. You've seen a lot of people talking about that. Okay. I've seen a lot of people talking about crazy things. Couldn't he get out of the rain? He just wanted to get out of the rain. Here's what I want to know. Because I've heard that he wasn't even supposed to be playing that day. Where was his team's tent? Where were his teammates? If he was captain, now see, I call a BS on some of this stuff. Did his father not say he was captain of the football team and he was captain of his track team? Where was his track team? That's what I want to know. Where was his track team that he was the captain of? Is his father BSing? Because, let's see. Okay, let's see. Why didn't Karmelo Anthony go to his own school's tent at the track meet? Okay, here's what they're saying. Since I have been following the trial and I used to live near there and shop at Stonebriar Mall, yes, his team did not have a tent. Yes, it was raining, but he remained in the tent after the rain stopped. Yes, he had been suspended previously, allegedly for having a knife. Yes, he knew someone on Austin's team and went over to meet them. Yes, he did not tell anyone else why he was there, leading to teammates wondering why this random guy showed up. And after talking to his friend, he sat down in one of the team seats and refused to explain why he was there or leave. When asked, he just stared off in the distance. He should have been warming up at that time. He insulted the team while sitting there, calling their football team ASS and saying the kids were biatches and P-words. Karmelo does not have a self-defense claim. None of the witnesses have said Austin was the aggressor. Everyone said Karmelo was the aggressor. Austin did not fall on the knife, as the defense alleged. Yeah, that's what they're saying. He fell on the knife? LMAO. How do trained legal professionals come up with such ridiculous alibis and arguments? It's their job. I read an article once a guy was arrested with over 200 bags of heroin. His defense attorney said it was all for personal use. Someone said, but it's not a knife, it's a multi-tool, and they want a new trial because the prosecution called it a knife. You can't make this stuff up. I had someone tell me today that it wasn't a knife, it was a tent peg. Seriously? Look at Representative Jasmine Crockett saying she would argue that the knife was so small you wouldn't even think it was a deadly weapon. Oh, I had someone tell me something like that tonight in a chat too. How did the knife do any damage to his heart or something to that effect? But the entire case is about a death due to being stabbed in the heart with the knife, and she's a lawyer. I can't wrap my mind around that. The woman often says delusional, nonsensical things. They will say anything to defend Karmelo, and I've heard a lot of people saying things that are just flat out lies. That Hunter was involved in the altercation and should have been horrible. They also said that Metcalf was 300 pounds on top of Karmelo. Okay. Okay, someone said he had been suspended, and I believe he was suspended from school at the time of the attack. Defense tried to argue that Karmelo Anthony had a knife and used it to cut tape, but everyone knows you can tear tape with your fingers. Why did he bring a backpack with him into his opponent's tent? He had a knife in it, and a backpack can store stuff. None of us are mind readers, but it looks sus. Good point. What I also find telling is if you have a knife in your backpack, it takes time to get the knife out and have the nerve to use it. Not to mention, it takes a certain kind of ill intent and prior planning. And also, this knife had to be opened. He was suspended and barred from attending school events at the time for bringing a knife to school, someone said. he was suspended from school because of having the knife. That also meant he was not supposed to be at the track meet. Maybe that's why he wasn't sitting with his school, trying to avoid his teachers, but they would have made him leave, so obviously his parents had to know what was going on. Let's see. He was literally competing later that day, a jumping event. He rode the bus with the early events. Let's see. Someone said you're lying. Okay. Okay. Okay, so somebody is citing something. Courthouse news. Courthouse news. All right, let me see. Texas prosecutors rested their case Saturday. Let me see. 4 teenage witnesses testified for the prosecution on the 6th day of the trial. The witnesses said Anthony called the students a bunch of P words who were not... Okay, let me see what happened here. 4 teenage witnesses testified for the prosecution on the 6th day of the trial. Anthony, 19, of Frisco, has pled not guilty. Collin County District Judge John Roach asked the media not to identify the young witness. One 16-year-old student testified that he heard Anthony say, "I'm not leaving, F you all," after being asked to leave the tent during a rain delay. Anthony was a member of the Centennial High School team. He did not have a school tent at the track meet and was repeatedly told to leave. The witness said Anthony called the students a bunch of P words who were not going to do nothing about it when he refused to leave. Defense attorneys maintain that Anthony was speaking to a friend in the tent and acted in self-defense when confronted by Metcalf and his twin brother Hunter. The Collin County First Assistant District Attorney Bill Worski asked if Metcalf took the lead in the altercation. And they said, yes, Karmelo put his hand in the bag and said 5 times, "Touch me and see what happens." Austin said he was not going to touch the guy. He was calm. The witness said Metcalf did not deserve to be killed and that Anthony committed murder. On cross-examination, defense attorney Toby Shook noted that the witness did not mention Anthony's cursing in the written statement he gave police after the murder. The witness acknowledged he did not know whether other nearby students heard the remarks. A 17-year-old Memorial student testified no one in the tent knew who Karmelo Anthony was. If you were a guest, you're supposed to be on the other side of the stadium. Worski asked the witness if he was under the impression that Karmelo Anthony was trying to provoke Austin Metcalf and if Metcalf responded to the provocation. Yes, the witness testified he put his hand on his shoulder. You do not expect to see someone get stabbed at a track meet. Was there any reason you saw for Karmelo Anthony to stab Austin Metcalf? Worski said. Was Karmelo Anthony acting in self-defense? No, the witness said. That's lethal force against non-lethal force. On cross, Shook reminded the witness of his witness statement to police that Austin put his hand on Anthony's shoulder to intimidate him. More of a warning, the witness said. Actions speak louder than words. Prosecutors rested after calling the final witness, the medical examiner. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Stomach is grumbling. All right, let me see here. All right. Where the heck is the live stream? Here it is. Okay. Let's see. It must be horrific to lose your twin, especially like that. Yes, yes, absolutely. Hi, murder. I hope a bunch of people came in. Let's see. I hope people learn from this case. Hello, Sassy. Let's see. My cousin was stabbed 19 times by her husband at 4 months. She was 22 years old. Knives kill. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you've told us that. Terrible. And they definitely do, yes. If someone pushes you, you push them back or walk away. You don't stab them, right? You don't bring in you're right, exactly. The worst that should have happened was a physical fist fight between teenagers. That should have been the very worst, you know? Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted, saith the Lord. Amen. Yeah. Karmelo murdered him. No matter how he looks at it, he exchanges a shove with plunging a knife into Austin's heart. It could have been worse. This murder happened in New York or California. He would be free. He wouldn't be free. I live in New York. He wouldn't be free. He would not be free. No. He murdered someone, pure and simple. It wasn't self-defense. He wouldn't be free. I think any jury would have seen this anywhere. It's really unsettling that there's so many people trying to defend this. You know, there's so many people are sitting trying to defend this, and some of the forums and some of the places in here, and you try to go into a chat, they cannot even, they don't have facts. They're spouting lies. It's disgusting. It really is. It's so disgusting. Okay, let me see here. so much stuff about okay, let me see. Karmelo Anthony's parents starting to blame their white attorney. Their white attorney. Why did he have a knife in the first place? Don't forget it was a folding knife. Not only did he grab it, he opened it and waited. Both this kid and his parents have shown zero remorse. It makes me so mad because they threw common sense out the window and started race baiting, holding press conferences, GoFundMes, etc. How about sitting down with the Metcalfs? Austin's dad reached out to them. They called the police on him. A softer, remorseful approach would have calmed hearts and cooled tempers. Now he's staring at 35 years in jail, actually 17 and a half. And looking at how the family has behaved, you best believe he's not going to get out the first time he comes up for parole, not unless he shows some true remorse. They acted like Austin's family was a huge problem. And didn't they buy a house, exploited their son's problems? Metcalf's father claimed that Karmelo's parents didn't even show up for his sentencing. That's true. I don't really get the Believe Karmelo hashtag on their shirts, given that Karmelo did not testify at any point of the trial. And his parents know that. Even after he knew the defense case amounted to so little, he did not testify. What are we believing? Am I supposed to believe what supporters who also did not testify and get cross-examined say about Karmelo? Am I supposed to believe what his defense attorneys asserted at trial, but was not backed up by Karmelo's own words? So disturbed by everything I've seen from these parents, like they cannot be serious that they actually think the white attorney would have gotten them an acquittal. His parents really think he should have gotten away with it because he's black. You know, the father did say something about the law should cover us. In that interview I put down, I think that's what he meant. I don't know. You tell me. What's his dad even saying? Word salad. Yeah, it's hard. It's the unburdening of the unburdened word salad. It's hard. As long as they're surrounded by people telling them that Karmelo was the victim, they'll believe it. Everything is race to them. Race explains the world. There's no personal responsibility. Okay. There was no defense. Karmelo stabbed Austin because he has zero impulse control, and he's a troublemaker. His parents failed in not raising him right with no solid foundation with morals, values, and integrity to be a young man of honor. They didn't raise him with any of these. They raised him to be a little enraged, trouble-seeking victim, just like they are. Apple definitely didn't fall far from the tree with this family. I get what you're saying, though. Just adds a layer of selfishness to these two ridiculous parents. Dang, if this dude would have just left their tent when asked multiple times and walked away, he has to be regretting all of this. Lawyers can't object if there's nothing to object to. First, you pee off the judge, then you pee off everybody else in the room, and then you get slapped with contempt or sanctions. This is a tragic case all about two men lost their lives. One of them is dead, but let's face the facts. Karmelo took a knife to the school and stabbed another student to death over some schoolyard BS. Now he will pay for those poor decisions with tens of years of his life. This was fair and a just result. This sounds like people whose understanding of the law comes from television. About the only thing in this trial the attorney should have objected to was asking the witness whether Karmelo was acting in self-defense. After all, that's a legal conclusion, and witnesses are not supposed to speak on that. Even if the defense did object, all that would change is the wording of the question, but the effect would be the same. Was he acting in self-defense? Is it much different from asking a series of questions that speak to whether it was self-defense? While I don't think Karmelo's defense was good, it also looked like they were being incredibly cheap. Not having an expert witness to speak towards the necessity of Karmelo's use of force either means the defense wasn't willing to pay for one, or there wasn't an expert who was willing to testify on behalf of Karmelo. While I don't think it mattered given the evidence in the case, the reason people believe he used a public defender is because of how little they invested into it. Just to provide some clarity, he had a private attorney. He also declared himself indigent by the court because they only had limited funds for the attorney. So anything above what they had would be funded via the state to pay for his attorney instead of switching to a public defender halfway through the trial. They didn't utilize any public funds, which leads more towards there not being any expert willing to testify on his behalf, or simply not being one for this instant. No medical expert to counter that the knife instantly killed Austin. No therapist type to explain why Karmelo couldn't walk away. Heck, they couldn't even put character witnesses up because then the prosecutor gets to cross-examine, and it would have opened the door to any of Karmelo's behavior growing up or disciplinary actions at his school that he's ever taken against him. His attorney had a shite case, and sometimes all they can do is make sure the defendant's constitutional rights are upheld during the process and that the other side is playing by the rules. Let's see. Mostly cringeworthy. Yeah, I mean, most people are saying the parents' interview is just cringe fest. Let's see here. Okay. Let me see here. I'm from New York. I'm from New York as well. He would not have been free in New York City. No, he wouldn't have. We'll have to agree to disagree. That's not. I live in New York as well. He would not have been free. You're not going to walk into a tent and kill another athlete and say you're going to be free. I don't see how you say that. I really don't. I think he should have had a harsher sentence too. I think he got off very leniently. These kids and young adults don't know of the consequences. Why? When I was growing up, I did not hear of other kids killing each other. Hello to you all as well. May we also remember Mommy Ramblings' son. He definitely took... It wasn't self-defense. No, it wasn't. Yeah. No, it wasn't. Okay, let's see here now. Okay. China. I don't care what color is it. You're right. It shouldn't be about race, but they've made it. They've made it about race. They've made it about race. Well, Zena, he wouldn't have gotten away with it. But anyway, I mean, now they're saying that the family is funneling money in, so declaring him indigent. But someone says Sarah Fields, I said, is going to have receipts out tomorrow to talk about how the family people are setting up LLCs fraudulently to funnel money to the Anthony family. So we'll see. It's crazy. There's a whole bunch of craziness. It's just, well, where are those shirts? Like, who's in charge of the shirts, and where is the money going? You know, where is the money going? So, don't know. Where's that money going? What is that money going? And then there's somebody saying something about Louisiana, and there is a tie with him to Louisiana. That's something I've just looked up, and I've got to research it more. But they're saying something about a legal fund having to do with something like that. So that's odd. I want to look that up as well. There's a few other things I want to look up. You can hear it fizzing. But it's 3:30, so we probably should do our word game. Because it's getting late, and I have to get to bed, and I've been up a lot later than I should be. But the Knicks did win tonight, right? The Knicks won. New York basketball team, for those of you that are in another country or just don't follow the sports. So it's a big deal for New York. Big deal, right? Okay. Hasn't happened in a very long time. Okay, this is our daily puzzle. It's a big one. It's a big one. Just got Shire, and you just got Shires. Right? Shivers, yeah, I got that. You're not surprised the family's still trying to profit. Prison is supposed to be punishment. I don't think should have the extras. Well, I don't know about that, but they are air. Do I have air? I thought I did do air. Didn't I do air? No. Ears. Yeah. Did I do fires? No. Rise and rises. Yes. Oh, I know. Hold on. What about? No. I tried that. Yeah. Yeah, I tried that. Okay, how about shies? Yeah, tried that. So we got one more, so it's got to be there we go. Hurst, you got it. Yes, it's terrible about Hunter. Yeah, and to lose his twin brother. Yes, absolutely. Did you lose a child, Xena? I'm sorry if you did. Maybe you put that in here and I didn't see it. I'm very sorry if that's the case. Oh, you're getting it just as I am. What did I just do there? I just did. There we go. What? What's yes, yes? Yes, yes. Core. How about core and cores? Did you guys get that? Okay, how about, did we do rise? Well, how about rice? Score. Okay. Score. Okay. And what do you have? Series. Series. Very good. Series. 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 Okay. Score. Rejoice. Rejoices. What else do we have? Ice. Ire. Ice. Ire. H-I, we can have a J, we have a Joe, I've tried Joe, let's see. What about Joe's, plural? Nope. Did we do the rose? Did we do R-O-E? Extra word, do we do rose? Like that, extra word, okay. Do we have C? We do. Do we have... Sir, it's got to be sir. Okay, and then the one between ire and C. Did you guys get it? Oh, sorry. Let me see. Very good there, murder. Okay. And cozier. Very good, heart. Okay. And let's see. We need this one, this one, this one. This one, this one, this one. Oh, thank you for coming in, Ariel. We appreciate it. Please make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell for all notifications. I'm on usually every night talking about stuff like this, and I do other things too. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Scree. Very good. Okay, two more. Great coverage of the case. Thank you so very much. You're welcome, Xena. like I said, subscribe and come on back. Okay, what do we have here now? Dear, okay. J. Nope. How about that? Nope. Oh, iron ore, chromium steel. That's what it is. Okay, I did tacky, but we could do tack. Craw I tried. Wacky I tried. Way I did. Trackway. Okay, that works. Arc, how about that? And how about that? And how about cry, yeah. Cry. Cat. Okay. Rat. Right. Ray. Okay. Tar. Oh, try. Has to be try. Okay. Rye. Okay. Then it has to be yak. Right? And yacht. Yaw. Yeah. Away. How about Kara? No. yak. Rye. Very good. Okay, now this is wary. Put that there. Track. Okay, we got it. Very good, everybody. Very good, everybody. Now this is going to be for our advancement. Smirk. Cook. Rook. Rooks. Cooks. Okay. Coo. Okay. Irks. Okay. Mock. Mocks. Okay. Sock. Rock. Rocks. Kick them. Rims. Rim. Okay. Cork. Corks. Oh, risk. Right. What have you got? Crooks? Crooks and crook, right? Okay. All right. What else you got? Sick room? Rock talk? Sick room. Very good. Murder. Micro. Micro. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, we got to get our extra words used up here. Okay. Ski. Okay. Mock. See here. Oh, sick? Yeah. Okay, one more and we get our advance in, then we just have to play the next game. Wonder what we're going to be other than a cashew. We've kind of really moved up since we got back from vacation, right? Let's see. From South Carolina. South Carolina. Oh, what about smock? Yep. Okay, what do we become? Oh, look at that. Bloodish. Alright, let's see. We gotta play this game because we always do this one, right? Sat. Nat. Nuts. Knots. Not. What's so funny? I was going to say it, Mary. What were you going to say? Sonata? Sonata, yeah. Uh-oh, hold on. Tan and tans. Sun. There's no E, though. There's no E, murder. There's no E. There's no E. Okay. You kept saying east. House is a place for drying hops to make beer. Okay. Very good. Hey, where's Dookie? Has Dookie been around since I've been home? Dookie, where's Dookie been? Has Dookie been around since I've been home? Yes, I think so. Hey, Dookie, where are you? I haven't seen Dookie in a while. Dookie, where are you? She was in the chat the other day? I thought so, but it seems like it's been a long while since I've been called Bling. It's a guy, though. Dookie's a guy. And where's my Mr. Wu? Mr. Wu, where are you? Okay. Mr. Wu, where is Mr. Wu? Okay. Ants, tense. Did we do odes? We did odes, right? Toads. What did you get? Dookie is a guy. Yes, Dookie's a guy. Dookie is a guy. Dookie is a guy. So is Mr. Wu. So is Video Reels. So is High 61. So is, who else is a guy? So is Jeff H. So is, who else is a guy? 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 I don't know. Who else is a guy? Doe, a deer, a female deer, a drop of golden sun. Dot and dots. Okay, I've tried sod a million times. For Suzanne Morphew, yeah, that's a long time coming, right? Yeah, what's going on with that? What's going on with that? Yeah, we do this to clear our minds after all that stuff we do with true crime. We've got to get our minds in a different place. A lot of us go to bed after this, so we want to get us into a better place. Plus, it's good to keep our mental acuity. Okay, and then let's see. What is the other one? Toe? Yeah, it's got to be toe, right? That was a long one. What is the big deal with that? What'd you get? Snobbish? Very good. Very good. Okay, Bob and Bob's. We got those. Bob knows. How about a nosh? How about a... bison? Okay, and what else did you get? Nosh, okay, snobs, bins. just had a remembrance of a book in first grade where I was. It was Bob's. It was this thing in the woods, Bob's Gift or something. Oh my gosh! And I remember it like it was yesterday. It's crazy. The book, the desk it was in, where I was in my house. How did all that time pass so quickly? It scares the crap out of me. It scares the crap out of me. Time passes that quickly. And then you think, not good things. What have you got now? Nibs? Nibs and nibs. Nope. Hobnobs, like those crackers, right? You got hobs. Yay, there we go. Yay. Okay, we're done, right? Yeah, we're done. We're done. We're gonna yell, we're done, we're done. Hey, we're done. Wheel. Wheel. Flywheel. Okay, who got that? Murder. Very good. Okay, let's see. Wait a second, you guys. There's something really weird. There's something like a motor. A feeling under my feet, like it almost feels like a dryer. Like, you know, the time when your dryer is tumbling and tumbling and or your washer, and it's spinning and spinning, but it feels like it's under my feet. Hold on a minute. Let me open the door for a second. Right here, because it sounds like before there was like a plane or something, but trying to hit. There's a cool breeze coming in, but the wind's not really. There's a real cool breeze coming in. Feels good, but it's really weird. It was strange. Remember that earthquake in Edistil? That was bizarre, and that's exactly, Gia said that's exactly the way an earthquake feels if you're in the bed. It feels like a wave. Okay. I tried lie. Heal. Flee. Okay. Lee, I tried. Tried all that. Why? 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 Yep, it was why. Bingo. It's doing it again. Okay, this is crazy. This is nuts. What the hell is going on? Hold on, I gotta open the door again. So bizarre. Very odd, very odd, very odd, very odd. Okay, let's see. Union. Oh, Jen. Yeah, Jen is always there, right? Bog. Bog is not there. Phew, God bless you. Thank you. Phew, bouncing, very good. Ion. Icon. What do you have? Slyer? S3. Ellery. Bye, Mary. I have to go too, Mary. We can play again tomorrow, hopefully. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Love you. Take care. Serene. Okay. Serene. We'll do those and then we'll go to bed. Serene. Oh, serenely, right? Okay, very good. And then what do you got there? Serenely. What'd you have? Lens, I tried. Leery, I think I tried that, didn't I? Leery. Let's see. Leery. Yeah, I see. How about that? What that lens? Let's see, that one was okay. Mary got serenely. Okay. Mary got serenely. Mary got serenely. Sneer. Okay. I don't know what. Come on. You know what this last one is? Eels. Very good. All right, we're going to go to bed now for real. See you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers. We'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Everybody take care. Have a good night. Bye.